Hey everyone, welcome to H&M Technologies online training. This is the video 47, working with APIs and request library. Okay, every app you use, whether it is a Book My Show, Swiggy, or any app, those apps get data from APIs. And API is how two applications talk to each other over internet. So this is called application programming interface. Today we are going to learn how to make a API calls from Python using a request library. So without getting late, let's start. Firstly, you need to do one thing. So that is, you need to run this command in a terminal. In this terminal here. So I done now only. You can see this. Yeah, pip install request. And now then see. So it's downloaded, collecting requests, downloaded, it's dull. Everything is completed, successfully installed. So request is a library that we need to download. So there is a different ways to download this. You can simply open your terminal on a VS Code, or you can go through the system terminal there, and also you can just paste this pip install request. Then it's automatically installed, and you will get to see successfully installed. Now we have a request library in our system. So now work with it. Okay. Okay. Now section 2 is a HTTP basics. The two things we need to know is one is request types and status codes. Firstly, what is a HTTP? You may see in every search by now Chrome or any internet browser. So it is starting HTTP SUC. So HTTP means it sends the data in a plain text form. HTTP S, it sends the data in a secure way. So that's called an encryption way. Okay. So HTTP in the sense hypertext transfer protocol. So here we see request types. Request types, those are one is a get to fetch the data, and the post to send the data. So this is what we see in request types. And another one is status codes. You may see status codes like 404 when it is not found. Okay, we'll see some of this. You are all familiar with this because we have been seeing this 404 when it is page was not found. That time we'll refresh that, and if it is already is there, then you will get refreshing. Okay, and like this some of the codes here, whether it is 200 200 is okay, it's success, it will work. And you may see sometimes the 401 it is unauthorized. Okay, so may that have a bad API keys. Okay, and when it is 500, it is a server down or a server error. Every response has a status code, headers, and a body. Usually it is in a JSON. We'll see the now we have, you know, the request types. One is the get and the post, and some of the status codes. Okay, now let's see first get request. We'll go one by one. First get and then post. Okay, see here first I import a request. To import the request library, and this library allows Python to send a HTTP request to a web server. A common request types, so you'll see, so get, post, and put, delete. Here we use a get. Okay, now here you can see the one annoying thing to you. This is the public test API. It returns a fake data in a JSON format. For example, data you can see that when I run this, a title, this, and the body is with this. Developers often use this site to practice a API request. It is a fake one. Okay, it's already pre-installed, pre-built free API, public API. So that link we assign to the variable called URL. Then we created another variable, a response. In this response, we get a request dot get. We'll use a get, then URL. So where URL is this variable, and it will send a get request to the server, then waits for the server response, then stores the result in a response. The response object contains a status code, headers, and JSON data. Is there any raw content? And that Here we print the status code, and whatever the data we'll get, here we're going to print that, and print status code as a response dot status code. The status code will tell you whether the request is a success or unsuccessful. The request code will tell you. So you can see here the status code is 200. So 200 means it is successfully done. Now we created a variable called data in this response data JSON. This means the API sends data in a JSON format. So JSON is a Python dictionary. Okay. For example, dictionary inside a title and example and a body, a text, key value pair, like that. Now its a conversion is done. Now Python can access the data. So here I'm printing title as a data title. So this title is comes from the data. Data is converted from the JSON to Python dictionary. Okay. Now the title is comes, and with body will come. You can see the title is sand art festival. It is a, I can't read this because it's a dummy API key that most of the developers use whether to check the API request. And the data body, and inside that I'm giving a 60. That means the first 60 characters only. So if I didn't give that 60, so it may print this many lines, 3 lines. Okay. So this way you can get our body data. So just accessing data from a Python dictionary, like that only. So the JSON file is converted into a dictionary here. Now our total final output is a status code and a title and a body. This is our final output. So here I need to observe one thing is a HTTP request. Your program communicates with a web server. API, an application programming interface that allows softwares to change the data, and the JSON data format used in mostly every APIs. So it's more like similar to the dictionary is a key value pair. In real world use cases, very important. So request is used in AI tools calling APIs, weather apps, payment gateways, data scraping, and automation scripts, chatbots, stock market tracks. And next we'll see get a request with parameters. Since we are building AI chatbot and projects and websites, this is the most important things we need to know. Now let's see get with parameters. See in the output terminal we need to observe one important thing. So whatever the data present in this web page, that will reflect here. Okay, we will see what data is in this link. We'll open this. I'm just copying the link. So before I got the link, this one. So this is actually is a developer's API testing link. You can see here. So this is what exactly in this page. User ID and title and body. Okay. Now let's see one more thing. Get with the query parameters. For this, I'm importing a request. We're done. And then API key. Oh, the API key is I got from the website. So the website is OMBD API. So let's see the website first. I'll show you. Yeah, this is the website OMBD API. And if I want API key, here I need to go and then free. Then enter a email, password, name, and use. So then I get a email like this. See the email, and here is my API key. This is the API key, and then I need to use that key. I here I use, and then to activate that key, click this following link to activate the API key. Okay, I done that, and now so there is a API key, and then I define a function to fetch a movie, which is a get movie. As usual, parameters are title. It takes a movie name as the input, then the base URL, and this is the query parameters. They are actually in the form of a dictionary key value. The key is a API, which is our API key, and T is a title to search which movie it is. Okay, and then responses. It sends a request, sends a get request with the parameters, and internally creates a full URL. And here is a HTTP error handling. If response status code is not equal to 200, then I said print response status and code. And if it is not and it stops and executes come back. And this response is a JSON file and it converts into the Python dictionary to fetch our data. And here API level error handling. So if the response is failed, so this response is a fail, so this two also fails, so it must need to check response field must and shouldly. Okay, then it returns the data full movie as a dictionary. Now the calling the function with movie get movie at triple or. And here if data exists, so the data is printing details in title, year, reading and director, and it's accessing dictionary values. Okay, we'll see the output. See the output here, the title triple R and year 2022 7.8 and 10 SS Rajmouli. So this is what if data is like this, the way you gave. See here, very important things we need to understand here. Parameters. I actually built a query string, avoids a manual string errors, and two types of errors. One is a HTTP error and a API error. So this is what we handle here. HTTP error and API errors. API error like a server down if it is 404 and 500 like that, and if it is a movie not found, that errors. So if it is a server down, see the output here. The HTTP error is 200 and HTTP error is 200, but movie not found instead of triple or I'll give. See, instead of triple or I'll give a triple or I. So it is a missed movie name. So here we get a movie not found error. So you need to observe one thing, the data is fetching from the website here. So triple or data we didn't give title, we didn't give year, we didn't give, and director I didn't give anything, I didn't give, just give a movie name. So it's automatically search into the website and then it'll give data. So if I give instead of triple or I'll give Arjun Reddy. So see the output here, the title Arjun Reddy, year 2017, rating and director Sandeep Reddy Vanga. And instead of Arjun Reddy, I'll give Arjun. So title is Arjun, year 2004, and director Gunashekar. See, whatever movie you can give, it will give output. So because it connected to the server. Okay. Now I'll give Avengers. I just give Avengers, but actually the title is The Avengers. And then year is 2012, and the director is Joss Whedon. All this data is present in the web, and we are getting the data from the website. I'm just giving a movie name here. Okay, fine. See, I just give a Bahubali. So actually, the title is a Bahubali, the beginning, and year 2015, and director and rating also will get. This is how we work with real websites in a real world scenarios. So like this, we can give, we can take an input from the output. We'll just give a input as a from user. So whenever user gives the input, then we'll directly get the data from the server. We don't need to store the all the movies and data in our program. So this is how the real world programs work. They actually connect with APIs and websites. I also added a cast, the actors. Actors are Prabhas, Rana, Daggubati, Anushka Shetty in Bahubali movie. So if I give Arjun Reddy, see Arjun Reddy and cast Vijay Devarkonda, Shalini Pandey, Jia Sharma. If I give Arjun, the cast Mahesh Babu, Shreya Sharan, Kirti Reddy. So all the data we can get from the website here. Okay, now I thought we'll get a clarity about this. Now without getting late, we'll move into the next one, which is our post to send the data. Now let's see this. Here we are now sending a data to a server, like booking movie tickets instead of just reading data. Before we read the data from the server, now we are just sending the data to the server. So firstly import a request as usual before that, and then URL. So it's in a previously we discussed A developer developed a website to access to test our APIs. So I'm here again giving a new booking, user ID 1, title triple R, and body 2 goal sheets for triple R on 25th December 6:30. Okay. Now this is our on response. The data we give is actually a Python dictionary. It represents data we want to send. This is like a filling a form and submitting to a server. Then send post request. A response is equal to response request dot post. So this is the we're going to post and the URL this one, and then JSON new booking. In this URL we are giving JSON as a new booking data. This one. You need to observe here I'm giving a post. Post means send data, get means get data, and in return we'll get a status code whether it is to know is it created or not. 201 is created successfully, and get response code is server sends back to a JSON, converts a Python into a dictionary, Python dictionary, and the print ID we give created with ID and data ID, and the server generates a new ID, so 101. See the output here, status 201 created with the ID 101. So if I see here we can see the so many user IDs and so much data is there, but our data won't reflect here because it's like in a paper. So we're just practicing, it just gives a so whether it is a created or not like that, but won't reflect at there. Okay, this way we can get the data and post the data. Now let's see headers and API keys. Not all APIs are open. Some requires identity like a login. That is called authentication. So we'll see there the headers and API keys mainly. So API key is a query parameter. See here the variables are parameters and a response. API key and a your key and T for a search. This is like a key value base. Key is a API key and our key, and then this one. So actually we give our data. So key and the title triple R. See here we are passing the key openly. So you can see the key here and the URL. So this is actually used in a simple APIs like this AOMBD and weather APIs and beginner friendly servers. So main their problem is so visible URL and less secure it is. And see the another pattern. See here the another one is the API key authorization header. So authorization here we need to give our key here. So we don't have as your token key now. So that's why it's giving an error. So this is actually how we the secure apps will use this. Instead of showing passwords in a URL, we send it in a securely in a headers. This is used in a real production APIs, payment systems, and Google APIs and OpenAI APIs. This is a more secure than query parameters. Standard in a modern or recent now present APIs. Let's see the pattern 3. It creates a persistent connection, automatically adds headers to all requests. Session is like saying logged in and no need to send a login and again. So it's a most easy and faster way to connect web servers, and it is a cleaner code also and no repetition needed. In real world connection, when you log into apps like Instagram or a Swiggy or your any apps to app, the app stores a token and sends it in a header exactly like this. So now let's see error handling. APIs doesn't always work. Sometimes they get errors. We need to handle that errors safely. For this, I need to import a request from a request exceptions, import a connection error and timeout error, HTTP errors. Okay. Now the importing is done. Then and defining a function define. Here I defined fetch movie safe, title API key, and the demo. The title movie name API key is a default demo OMBD test key. Then I initialize the title and API key. So URL is given, and then now it's a try. We now try to handle the errors. So try means attempt this code. If something fails, went wrong, go to accept. Okay. Here I give a timeout. Timeout 5. Wait 5 minutes maximum, and prevents the program from hanging too for too long. And this will response rise for a status. It will give bad response into the exception. As for example, 404 rises error and rises error. Without these errors, we may get output what exactly happened here. For this, the data is converted into the Python deck, and if the responses are false, then we will give a written error. The written is a title, data title, and IMBD rating. So now here very important point, exception timeout. So it will run when server is low, okay, and then connection error. The connection error will come when no internet and the DNS will fail. At the time, the connection error will occur. Some of errors will can give. So HTTP error handle a specific case where it is invalid API key. So then it was now it's time to test the data. So I'm testing fetch movies if as a triple or. So we'll get a triple or and rating 7.8. If we want, we can give some more data also, title and so I'll give actors also. So you will get another data cast. Title triple cast is N.T. Ramarao Jr. and Ram Charan, Ajay Devgan. So everything comes in a on dictionary. The key value, key value, key value. Okay. Now if I give Arjun, the same data will get title Arjun, cast Mahesh Babu, Shreya Sharan, like this. Now it's time to give a fake movie which is not available, and then see the error movie not found. Successfully error was handled without rising in a red ugly error. So why we need to use this try except is a crucial here, because without this your program will crash in a real world apps. That time I need to debug everything, and we need to and every program will do the same things, exception and try blocks to handle errors. So apps like Swiggy, Uber, Netflix always handle errors like this. Otherwise, the app crashes. See here, I'll giving two practice questions. So beginner and intermediate level. So pause the video and go through these questions. Okay. In this video, we'll learn a request.get to fetch data and send data to the websites, and response status code and JSON. And we also do parameters like parentheses and headers. Okay, we'll saw that. And error handling, handle timeout, connection errors, and HTTP errors. We all covered in this video. In the next, iter tools and function tools in our next video. We'll see you there, and thank you for choosing H&M Technologies online training.